The Magic of You, created by FreeWire and narrated by Alicia Hay. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Albert Einstein. One spring morning in the jungle, a happy little chimp arose from her slumber. She then looked around and saw that Mummy Chimp had collected fresh fruit for her to eat. She was very grateful when Mummy Chimp got fresh fruit because one day Daddy Chimp told her a story about how some little chimps in the jungle are not lucky enough to have fresh fruit. Daddy Chimp said, "Always remember, the more that we appreciate what we have in life, the more we seem to get." Little Chimp questioned this. She said, "But Daddy, how do we get more of something just from thinking about it?" Daddy Chimp replied, "Never underestimate the power of your own mind. You can use it like magic." Little Chimp thought about what Daddy Chimp said every day. She wondered if she could use mind magic to create things as well. Little Chimp was curious, so she began to watch other people closely to see if they were using mind magic. She decided to watch her good friend Milky Chimp because he always seemed happier than most of the other chimps. Milky Chimp was very funny. He would always say, "I always tell jokes because the more I make others laugh, the more I smile. I like smiling." One day, Little Chimp went to school, and as she played in the yard with the other chimps, she spoke with Milky Chimp. She wondered if the other chimps knew the secret of mind magic. She said, "Milky, do you know what mind magic is?" Milky replied, "I actually do use my mind like magic sometimes. It's fun." Little Chimp said, "How do you use it? Can you please teach me how?" Milky replied, "Of course I can show you how. Are you ready to use your imagination?" Little Chimp felt excited as Milky Chimp continued. "Okay, first off, my daddy told me that if you can see something in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So here is how I do it. When I wanted my new bike, even before I actually had it, I would use my imagination and see myself riding it through the park. I would even imagine the feelings of excitement that I would have whilst riding the bike. Eventually, my imagination grew so strong about my bike that I almost grew to believe that I already owned it, and soon I began to notice other people with bikes everywhere. I also began to find opportunities to save up enough money to buy my new bike. It was almost as if the more I thought about my bike, the faster the opportunities would come to me." Little Chimp said, "That's amazing! Do you believe that this all helped you to get your bike?" Milky replied, "Of course I do. That is how mind magic works. Mummy told me that there is enough good things in the world for everyone to have, so you must also believe that you deserve whatever it is that you want, because you do." That afternoon, Little Chimp went home very excited. She wanted to find out what it was that she wanted, so she then asked Mummy and Daddy Chimp how they knew what they wanted in life. Daddy Chimp replied, "Good question, Little Chimp. For me, it was easy. I tried many things in my life, and I just learned over time that following the things that made me feel very happy was the best way to go. My family wanted me to grow up and be a doctor. They said that being a doctor paid very well, but whenever I did research on how to become a doctor, I never really fell in love with the idea." Little Chimp, I'm not saying that it is not good to be a doctor, because doctors are great. I simply just felt that I could do something else better, and that I would be much happier that way. And soon after that, I decided to find out what it was that would make me much happier, and eventually my feelings led me towards helping people with knowledge. That is why I became a teacher, so that I can do what I enjoy, and it is great because I also get to help people." Little Chimp replied, "Oh, that is so cool, Daddy, but how did you find out what you wanted, Mummy?" Mummy Chimp replied, "Well, Little Chimp, for me, the process was not as fast as it was for your daddy. In fact, for many years I felt a little bit lost. Sometimes I was even too hard on myself, and I would feel upset because I tried many things that I did not love doing, which then led me to giving up on them. Back then, I would see each time I gave up as a failure, but eventually I grew to learn that I was not failing. In fact, I was just learning what did not work for me. And the cool thing about having all of my learning experiences was that they all led me to what I love doing. They helped to define my path. And by learning what I did not want in my life, I learned what I do want in my life, which made me very curious. And that is when I began to read books about how to live a happier life. The books taught me to put all of my attention onto the things I do like rather than focusing on things I do not like. That is when I learned that whatever we focus our attention on, we will get more of in our lives. And that is also when I started to imagine what love would feel like. I felt like I wanted a special best friend. Soon after that, I met your daddy. He made me feel very happy because he told me that I was special. He told me that we are all creators in this universe and that we all have the power to make our lives good or bad. He said that our focus and our thoughts can be the difference between a sad life and a happy life. And after learning that, I began to do things that looked exciting to me, like creating music and creating artwork and lots of other fun stuff. I then also began to take photos of all the cool things that I was doing and all of the cool places I was visiting, which then led me to become a professional photographer. Little Chimp, it is very important to keep an open mind in life, but we must also be careful about the influences that we have around us. Sometimes in life we may be surrounded by some bad things, but that is just the way life is now and then. You must always remember we all have the power to choose to be around the good things. If we believe that we can, we will find a way. It's simple. We can use our minds to help us create anything that we want in life. That is why we call it mind magic, or the magic of you. Then Daddy Chimp said, always remember, Little Chimp, the best way that we can predict our future is to create it. To be continued.